Hi everyone, my name is Chris Flowers. I'm a solutions consultant in the Southeast US. Today we're going to be talking about OpenText Content Aviator and how it can be used at utilities. Specifically, we're going to look at a use case for condition reports and how a tool such as Content Aviator can bring efficiency to an important but manual effort. So, what is a condition report? They help workers understand the physical state of a utility's assets. They are crucial tools identifying potential failures in equipment, prioritizing maintenance, as well as evaluating compliance and risk assessments. Condition reports are created on a see something, say something basis, which might mean hundreds are written in a day. They may document a loose handrail, an update to a CAD drawing when a new piece of equipment is installed, or a change to a standard operating procedure. Condition reports are typically reviewed on a weekly basis for priority, legitimacy, and eventually work orders. The trends derived from condition reports enable utilities to understand the history of activities that have already occurred or potentially predict an event that may happen soon. Now that we know what condition reports are, let's talk about how OpenText Content Aviator can help. And we're going to focus on how we help give utilities time back. The generative AI model that supports Content Aviator has a lot of power. It can analyze data to surface patterns that we may not catch on our own. It can use those historical patterns to predict potential equipment issues, giving workers a chance to prevent failures before they ever occur. Based on that historical data and the patterns we've now discovered, Content Aviator can identify anomalies from events that have deviated from those expected patterns. Resources can also have a conversation with a vast knowledge base, accelerating their learning. Now that we know what Aviator can do for us, let's review how we interact with the tool through prompts. Prompts can be simple questions, keywords, or instructions. The quality and relevance of Content Aviator's output is directly influenced by the effectiveness of our prompts. Learning how to have a conversation with Content Aviator is an important skill that we all need to learn as this technology becomes more accessible. We will improve our results using a technique called prompt engineering. This is defined as the process of designing and refining prompts to guide AI models so they produce the desired responses. In other words, it's learning to ask Content Aviator questions in a way that gives us the best results. Here are some examples. Summarize the key issues and recommendations for specific asset types based on the condition reports. Rank the maintenance tasks identified in these condition reports by urgency and potential impact. And extract information on environmental factors or operational conditions contributing to asset deterioration. These are all related to our use case of condition reports, and we're going to use them next in a demo. What other prompt examples can you think of that can help us to extract a better understanding of the information in our repositories? Now that we've learned more about OpenText Aviator and condition reports at utilities and how they interact with one another, we're going to walk through a live demo. I've already opened up a workspace in Extended ECM that has a set of condition reports and some SOPs. I open up Aviator, and I'm going to start with our first prompt using the examples we reviewed in the presentation a moment ago. Summarize the key issues and recommendations for main turbine generators based on these condition reports. I already know that main turbine generators are in here, so this is a good example for us. It starts to populate answers based off of those condition reports that actually have main turbine generators, and it gives me some information that's listed there, summarized in those reports, and some recommendations that are printed in there as well. I also get references to the exact documents that it pulls this information from. Let's move on to the second prompt. This one is about maintenance tasks. This is a little bit different, but it's going to give me information based off of what's in the condition reports and what I have permissions to see, as well as a little bit of context around urgency and potential. It's understanding what urgency and potential is because I've documented that in the standard operating procedures that are also in this workspace. You can see how it starts to outline those between urgent and high potential all the way down to low urgency and low potential impact. Again, referencing those documents where it pulled that information from. Finally, I'm going to ask it a little bit more of an abstract question. Extract information on environmental factors or operational conditions contributing to asset deterioration. So this is a prompt that's not necessarily spelled out in any one condition report, but it's using the large language model plus the context of the condition reports to respond, and gives you a pretty good set of details around each condition report or each of the sites and how it relates to that prompt. Thank you for your time watching this video. I hope you've learned more about OpenText Content Aviator and how it can be used at utilities.